Hello YouTube. I wanted to talk a little bit about these jack shafts because it's been a real learning process about these things, and it took me a while to figure things out about these jack shafts because I was finding so many different variations of sizes of parts, and I didn't understand it at first, but then after I learned a little bit more, I understood a little more. And what I come to find out is on these torque converters, the original ones were made here in the USA by a company by the name of Comet, and they made these for years and years, since the 60s. And then the Chinese came along and started making them, copies of them, and the original Comet parts are all standard American size. But when the Chinese started making them and copying them, they put metric parts inside. So it's really confusing when you try to find parts, because you don't know if you got metric or if you have standard sizes. So like on these, on the cheap torque converter kits that you buy, they're metric, and these are the shafts. These are 16 millimeter. Where the bearings are, that's the inside dimension of your bearings, and they're different than the others. Like on the Comets, they're standard. They're 1/2 inch. On the driven, the jack shafts are 5/8, like these, and so that's the big difference. And so it doesn't really matter, because you can put standard size bearings in your fat motos. All you need to do is get the outside dimension of these bearings are pretty much the same. They're 1 3/8, pretty close. Even the metric ones, I don't know what they are, but they're so close that they fit in there. And then if you get a 1 3/8 by 5 inch bearing, it goes in there, and it's no problem. You can use standard parts on the fat motos. This is a 5/8 shaft, what's threaded. So that's just something. And if the other thing is, we've got a bunch of bearings here. So if you guys need parts or something, if you're lacking a part here or there, we've got all kinds of stuff. Because why? We've been buying all this stuff. My friend has, and you find out that stuff doesn't fit. Well, we've got a surplus of parts now because of that. And so, you know, that's a lesson for people that are trying to build stuff, and you get it and you don't, this doesn't fit. Well, you know, there's two different sizes here. You know, you got metric and standard. So it's kind of confusing, but as long as you keep that in mind. Also, on these Chinese bikes, they came up with a different kind of a chain. This is a 415 chain on these bikes, and they're the same pitch as a 420. Here's a 420 here. So they're the same pitch as a mini bike chain. See, they go right in there because they're the same pitch, but they're wider. They're wider this way, and so to get a 5/8 415, you're not going to find it. You'll have to make one. So what we did is we put this in a drill press, and with a angle grinder, we ground down both sides of it to the narrow width of the 415 chains, and then we put that on the jack shaft over there. It's a 420 sprocket that we ground to fit it. And so if you need a 415 5/8 sprocket, you're not going to find it. You'll have to make one. And if you need one and you can't make it, let me know in the comments, and maybe I can help you out. Grind one down for you. And if you need bearings, let us know. We've got all kinds of bearings, and the belts are all different. Every torque converter I found is not the same. The Chinese ones are pretty much all the same. They take the standard size belts, but there's so many different variations of belts. You have to figure out your center to center distance, and then there's a chart on Go Power Sports. You can figure it out what belt you need. but we just used the I think it was the neck size up belt that we needed, but we didn't use a belt. We put a chain on here, so now we have the this is the 35 5 by 5/8 sprocket we put on there. We don't have a belt. I forgot about that. So anyways, if you do a torque conversion on that, torque conversion on your rollers, then you'll need a 9 1/8 belt is what I used with the 98cc. And so I just wanted to go over the differences on the jack shafts and the sprockets and what the differences are, I guess. And so just keep those things in mind if you're trying to put a jack shaft on your fat motos. And like I said, if you need help with the parts or something, bearings or something, might be able to help you out here. We've got a few things laying around since we've been, my friend Ross bought so many things. And then, here's the other thing. This is the reason why you got to know what you're doing when you build stuff, because you end up with piles of parts like this that you don't use. And that's the reason why I guess I'm doing these videos, so hopefully save some other folks some money by not buying parts they don't need. So yeah, all right folks, that's just a little short on jack shafts, and I hope that helps a little bit. And I'll be posting some more videos here soon, so thanks for subscribing, and hope you guys are having fun riding. Bye bye.